Welcome back, Milby Bubs. Today's lesson, solving one-step, two-step equations. So the prerequisite to this, make sure you note this down on your notebook. The opposite of addition is subtraction. The opposite of subtraction is addition, vice versa. Multiplication, the opposite of it is division. The opposite of division is multiplication. Now, what do I mean by solving one-step, two-step equations? That are the examples that I'm going to show you shortly. So make sure you have this noted down. So go ahead and pause the video and do so. Now, one-step, two-step equations. What's funny about this is that you have been doing this since pre-kinder. In pre-kinder or kinder, they showed you something like this. Right? Blank plus 3 equals 4. Immediately your mind jumps into, oh, mister, the answer is 1. And 1 is indeed the answer. Now, in algebra, you're not going to be dealing with such easy numbers. But some of them you can answer quick. So, in algebra, you use something that is called variables. You're solving for the missing variable, right? So let's say we have this as example 1. Y plus 8 equals 15. You have to find what number is missing, meaning what is the value of y. Now, this goes back to what I said in the beginning. Y plus 8 equals 15. Your job is to solve for this variable. So, you always want to keep that variable by itself. So, what is the opposite of a plus 8, or you're adding 8? What's the opposite of addition? It is indeed subtraction. So what you do to one side, you do to the other. This cancels. Y is by itself. Y equals. Now, 15 minus 8. What is 15 minus 8? That answer should be 7. And you are done. That is a one-step equation. Easy as that. Now, let's jump into problem number 2, so you guys can get the gist of everything that I'm teaching. So, problem number 2. We're going to have a minus 5 equals 15. Now, once again, you want to isolate everything except the variable. You want to keep the variable by itself. So, how do I get rid of a minus 5? What's the opposite of subtraction? It should be addition. So you're going to add 5 to both sides. This cancels. A is going to equal, what is 15 plus 5? That should be 20. Now, when solving one-step equation, let's say you have the benefit of that saying, mister, I don't know if I'm correct. Is there a way I can check my answer? Yes, you can. Now, notice how A equals 20, meaning wherever you have an A, you're going to plug in 20. So here's my A. So I'm going to rewrite the equation. It's going to be 20 minus 5 equals 15. What is 20 minus 5, guys? 15, right? Does 15 equal to 15? Does it? Yes, it does. So that means you are correct. Now let's start amping it up a bit, where we involve multiplication and division. Number 3, say we have 3b equals 21. Now, keep this in your memory. Whenever you have a number right next to the variable, this is called your coefficient. Whenever you have those two together, that means 3 is being multiplied to b and it equals 21. So it's just going to be 3b. So you know this means multiplication. What is the opposite of multiplication? It should be division. So I'm going to divide out 3. This cancels. B equals, what is 21 divided by 3? That should be 7. And that is my answer. Mister, how can I check my work? Simple. You go back to the original problem. 3. Now we know what B is. What is B? 7. So 3 times 7 should equal 21. 3 times 7 is 21. Does 21 equal to 21? Yes, it does. That means your answer is correct. So that's perfect. Copy it down. Example problem number 4. C over 7 equals 4. Now we have a division. The variable C is being divided by 7. Whenever you want to get rid of a division, what's the opposite of division? It should be multiplication. So let me make this 4 a little higher for space. So you have to multiply out the 7. So I'm going to multiply everything by 7. What you do to one side, you do to the other. This cancels. The C comes down by itself. C should equal, what is 4 times 7? That should be 28. Mister, can I check my answer? Yes, you can. So wherever you have C, you're going to put 28. So 28 over 7. What is 28 divided by 7? It should equal what? 4, right? So 28 divided by 7 is 4. Does 4 equal to 4? Yes, it does. All the problems I have been doing have been one-step equations. Now let's jump into 2 steps. Example problem number 5. So 5. On example problem 5, say we have 3b plus 6 equals 18. Your job is to find what b is, right? So when doing 2 steps, which one of these has the variable, the 3 or the 6? The 3 does. Since the 3 does, that's the last step. How do I get rid of a plus 6? What's the opposite of adding 6? It is indeed subtract 6. What you do to one side, do to the other. Cancels. 3b equals, what is 18 minus 6? That should be 12. And if you look back at the previous problems, you know that this means multiplication. So to get rid of multiplying, you have to do divide. That's correct. So divide both sides by 3. This cancels. B equals 12 divided by 3 is 4. And that is your answer. Let's check it out, see if it's correct. We plug in where B is, should be a 4. So 3 times 4 plus 6 should be 18. So let's check it out. What is 3 times 4? That is 12. Then we're going to add 6 to it, and it should be 18. 12 plus 6 is indeed 18. Does 18 equal to 18? Yes, it does. And that is your answer. Problem number 6. On problem number 6, I want you guys to pause the video, try out this problem, and see if we got the correct answer. So go ahead and pause now and try it out. All right, welcome back from the pause. So let's begin. Now, which one of these has the variable? Is it 4 or is it negative 2? The answer is 4, so we're going to leave that alone. How do I get rid of a minus 2, guys? What's the opposite of minus 2? It should be plus 2. So you're going to add 2 to both sides. This cancels. So it's going to leave 4b equals 18 plus 2 is indeed 20. Now you look again. They're multiplying, right? What's the opposite of multiplying? Division. So you're going to divide by 4. Divide by 4. This cancels. B equals 20 divided by 4 is 5. And now let's check out if our answer is correct. So 4 times 5 minus 2 should be 18. So let's check it out. What is 4 times 5? That is 20. Then you're going to drop down to minus 2 and it should be 18. 20 minus 2 is 18. Does 18 equal to 18? Yes, it does. You have the correct answer, which is B equals 5. Now, the difficult ones, fractions. Guys, as long as I've been teaching at Milby, even my seniors and juniors from last year, they still hate fractions, so it's okay. I'll make sure by the time you're a junior, senior, sophomore, you know how to work with fractions. So here we go. N over 2 minus 10 should equal -6. So let's try it out. Which one of these has the variable? N over 2 or -10? Your answer should be N over 2. So we're going to leave that last. How do I get rid of a -10? It should be add 10. So you're going to add 10 to both sides. So this should be N over 2 equals. This is a perfect example. My goal by the end of your freshman year is to make sure you know how to add negatives to positives. So here we go. -6 plus 10. It's just like saying, Mister, I have $10. I spent $6. How much should you have left? You should have 4. -6 plus 10 is 4. Or 10 minus 6 is still 4. That's the goal, is show you guys how to add and subtract negative numbers. Now, last part. N over 2 equals 4. You know that N is being divided by 2. What's the opposite of division? Multiplication. So you're going to multiply by 2 to both sides. This cancels. N equals 4 times 2 is 8. And let's check our answer. See if it's correct. So, N we know is 8. So it should be 8 divided by 2 minus 10 should be -6. So 8 divided by 2 is indeed 4. 4 minus 10 should be -6. So 4 minus 10. What number is bigger? 4 or 10? 10 is. What's the symbol to the left of it? Negative. So my answer has to be a negative. So what is 10 minus 4? That should be -6. Does -6 equal to -6? Yes, it does. That is your answer. N equals 8 is correct. That was example problem number 7. And then the last one, and I'll set you guys free. Problem number 8. Try it out on your own, guys. Try it out. So here we go. V over 4 plus 2 should be -2. So here we go. By this point, you should know, isolate the one that has the variable. Keep it by itself. Leave it last. So V is being divided by 4. We keep that last. How do I get rid of a +2? That should be -2. Do the opposite. -2. This cancels. V over 4 equals, you owe me $2. Let's say you owe your partner $2. How much you owe in total? You owe a total of -4. Now, how do you get rid of a division? You have to multiply by 4 to both sides. Cancels. V equals, a negative times a positive will always be a negative. So -4 times 4 should be -16. So this is my answer. Now let's plug in to see if we're correct. Now, my V's right here. So -16 divided by 4 should equal, you go back to the original, it should be equal to, oops, I left out something, plus 2 should equal -2. So let's solve it. What is -16 divided by 4? The answer should be -4. So -4 plus 2 should be -2. -4 plus 2 is like saying you owe me $4, right? You give me 2. How much you still owe me? You owe me $2. Does -2 equal to -2? Yes, it does. You are correct. V does indeed equal to -16. So with that being said, I hope you guys have a good rest of the day. Once again, if you have any questions, please let us know. We're here to help. Have a good day, guys.